Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a solo Grandmaster Exodus Crash with Warlock. For my subclass, I'll be using the Shade Binder. Here are the fragments I'll be using for this video. For my kinetic, I'll be using False Promises. Exotic, I'll be using the Monarque. Heavy will be Threaded Needle. For the helmet will be double linear fusion ammo finder with 5 recovery and precision charge. For the gauntlets, I'll be using Firepower, Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle, Overload Bow, and 10 Discipline. For the chest plate, double arc damage resistance with 10 Discipline and Taken Charge. For the legs, Charge Harvester, Linear Fusion Rifle Scavenger with 10 Discipline. Next, I'll be using Double Bomber, Firepower with 5 Recovery. So for this video, I decided to go for the Stasis Warlock. If you don't really care about getting the 100k and only want the completion for the solo Grandmaster, then go for Stasis Warlock. If you do care about getting the 100k and you want the run to be really fast, then go for Nova Bomb. Now, as you guys know, it's always best to have double arc resistance because there are snipers that can shoot quite badly. Well, it can melt you pretty fast. Besides using sniper resistance, you can use double arc resistance. And back in the day, we used to have fallen barrier, but since they took that off, you can use arc damage resistance. And of course, I am clearing down the ads and the ones with the vehicle, which I highly recommend you stay away because without the arc resistance, they can one-shot you. Now, the only reason why this run was not 100k was the boss fight. And the boss fight, I will do a time skip and will talk details how I did the cheese spot. For now, let's focus on the first level where we have to collect the pulses, or the arc pulses, or the light pulses. I'm not really sure what are we supposed to call them. Oh wait, it's right there in the description. My bad, I'm very sleepy right now. So you can see I did jump and then back away because I totally forgot about the vehicle from up ahead. So I was doing testing with the Stasis Warlock. On my first completion was a bit sloppy, and then this one wasn't too bad. So this was my second time completing the solo GM for Warlock for this season. So I decided to just use the famous Monarque, which is probably one of the best, deadliest exotics for this season, where you can destroy the overload champions, and that's what we want. We want something to make our lives easier and to destroy the overload champions. Now, if bow was an option and it was hand cannon for overload, then the famous thorn will be the meta for dealing with overload champions. But for this season, there is no hand cannon, so Monarque is the best compared to Taiku. I wouldn't recommend using Taiku for solo. Fire team would be okay because you will have some trouble dealing with fallen overloads with 4 of them in front of you. Now I decided to go up on this left side since it seems to be the easiest for me, where you can deal with the Shanks, the ads, the snipers, and there are 2 snipers from the left side and the top right or the top front, depending on the angle of your Warlock. And yeah, like I said, you can go for Nova Bomb if you want the 100k, but like I said, if you don't really care and you just want the easiest solo GM completion to make life easier and not even have the boss touch you so much, and you want the turret to do all your work, then just go for Stasis Warlock. Like I said, there are snipers and there is a vehicle which I highly recommend destroyed because this guy is extremely buggy. Sometimes he teleports, he has done that, or he can just surprise you since there is no radar. Make sure you destroyed the vandals, and then once you do, you can collect the arc pulses. Now I'm just browsing around, and I'll be using my super just to deal with the shanks and with the ads, and also might as well use my super since I already have it, you know. I decided to try to clear as much ads as I can, especially these gold bars, which they can shoot solar. And they melt you pretty quick if you do stand still, but if you are behind this mini crate or mini wall, then it is completely a big joke. Once we collect the arc pulses, the overload champion will appear and we'll be dealing with a lot of champions. So I decided to throw my turret, and yes, I know someone's going to comment, yes, I know you cannot destroy the overload champion with the turret. It resets the overload champion when you are doing DPS with the bow. Yes, I know that, but mainly I'm using the turret to clear down the ads, and then I'll deal with the overload later, or in the middle of the fight where I'm dealing with the ads where I can see them. Especially these snipers like this vandal here, turret can be good to freeze them and to make life easier. So like I said, I already know that the turret is not good for overload champions for GM, but it can freeze the overload champion and then you can deal with the other ads since they are a bit frustrating, where they can shoot arc grenades, by the way, and they can snipe you. So here is the power of the Monarque, where you can easily take down overload champions and make it a big joke throughout this entire Nightfall. Before you do push towards the door is still closed, so it means that there are a lot of ads, a lot of shanks, vandals, which I highly recommend you take them down. And yes, I know there are ads all the way from the left side, right side, but you don't really need to destroy them, which they are completely harmless. You can go over this rock when the vandals are destroyed, where these ads, where they do turn invisible and try to melee you, they cannot hurt you when you're on top of the rock. For some reason, they are scared of the rock, but don't be too close at the edge of the rocks where they can destroy you if you are not careful. Now, there are lasers, and I decided to throw my turret and deal with the overload champion. Alright, so once I clear all the ads, all these are fallen, which I know they are cute, adorable babies, and then, you know, I feel bad for them, but you know, we have to complete this Nightfall, unfortunately. And you can easily take down this overload champion, but be aware that the overload champion can shoot arc, and if you stand still, it can melt you and you can get a wipe where you have to return to orbit. So I decided to throw my turret up ahead since it's gonna be pretty much my minion throughout this entire Nightfall. Since there are no radar and I can't really see well since my TV is pretty small, which for Black Friday definitely gonna get a bigger, better 4K TV since it's really holding me back for the GM runs because it's really hard for me to see. Depending on the turret where you made it spawn, the turret will freeze enemies and you can easily take them down with all these fallen babies. I mean these fallen ads, and you can definitely take them down. And there is another overload champion there is also another Overload champion, which you must be aware. Now, if you don't clear out all the ads, especially the ones next to Overload champion, they will spam arc nades. And that is why I highly recommend to put double arc damage resistant. There is no fallen barrier, since I know people back in the day are familiar with that. So since Bungie took it off, you'll be able to use arc damage resistance to get more resistance from the arc, shooting arc at you, nades, and also these snipers. So always take cover when doing DPS. You can also switch to the linear fusion rifle, or you can use a rocket. I wouldn't recommend using machine gun for this week at all. Now I decided to use my super quickly so I can clear as much ads as I can. Now make sure you clear down all the ads that turn invisible. That way they won't sneak up on you when you are going to pop a healing rift and do DPS at the boss. So I decided to use my rift, and I wanted to make sure I cleared out all the ads before I do DPS at the Overload champion. So there are 2 more Overload champions, unfortunately, and these overcharged shanks or explosive shanks or these electric, they just seem to stay there. They don't really float towards you when you are in this angle, and I decided to do DPS at the captain. Now be aware that this Overload captain can move all the way from the right side where you're standing, so make sure you destroy it very fast, or let's just say it didn't work out and you have to pull back from the left mini wall, well, where I'm standing here, but back away a little bit, hide, and then use the Monarque bow to stagger and use a healing rift, and you can use your linear fusion to do massive damage. Now I am using double bomber for this video. Reason is the boss fight. The boss fight will take some time and I don't have 100 discipline, so that's another reason why this run was a bit slow for the boss fight. Like everything was perfect, but it's just the boss fight was just time consuming, and I just did not feel like going for Nova Bomb since I've been Nova Bombed so many times with Carnivor's Hold, and I'm in those moods where I don't really feel like being Void Walker for a while. And don't get me wrong, I love Nova Bomb, I love Carnivor's Hold. It's one of my favorite exotics to use for Warlock. And I do play all 3 characters, I like everyone's ability. It's just those moods where I just get fed up and I just want to use something else. Now, once we destroy the Overload champion, I decided to go for 10% and then back away because there is Overload champion up ahead. Now for this method, for this video, well, for this area, the only thing I can say is one simple thing, and I'm pretty sure everyone has this experience. Do not trust Overload champions at this ghost platform. So don't trust Overload champions at all because they are buggy. You can be bowing using a Monarque to kill these shanks, and then out of nowhere the Overload champion just teleports in front of you, 2-shot you, dead, return to orbit. Now I was just trying to see if I can bait the Overload champion because I don't trust this Overload champion. This Overload champion has a mind of its own. All of them do in this area, where you need to capture the plate and protect the ghost, even though the ghost can take care of himself or herself. I'm not really sure if it's a boy or girl, but you know, never trust Overload champions in this area. And if your fire team wants to push towards the stairs and if they don't listen to you, then let them get the death, because you warn them and it's not worth to push towards above the stairs when there is Overload champion in the room, roaming around, bugging, teleporting all over, using quick attack, and then shooting solar at you. And let me just say, there will be 4 Overload champions that will spawn very soon once we do destroy the barrier champion when we hit around 40%. I think it's 40%. I'm not entirely sure. I kind of forgot a bit. So make sure you clear down all the ads and then you can go ahead and deal with the defending ghost progress percent. So once you hit around 20%, ads will spawn again. You can back away because there'll be Overload champion. I mean, for me, I think just claiming the platform bit by bit seems to be safer than trying to stay with the ghost as much as you can and then backing away, because I don't think it would be a good idea, because anytime Overload champions can teleport and destroy you. So be aware that the ads can push towards you, as you saw there. These vandals or these fallen ads, they just try to melee me. So I was just using the turret just for a double checkup to see where the Overload champion is and to bait it. So once the turret does the dirty work for me, I decided to use the Monarque and then just keep doing DPS over and over until it gets destroyed. Like I said, you can use your linear or your rocket to take down the Overload champion. Now I do wish there was a heavy for sniper, like legendary. I mean, honestly I would use a sniper, a heavy sniper right now. If it was a legendary sniper, you know, to deal with this Overload champion. So once the champion is defeated, you can throw your turret, but I kind of threw the turret in the wrong direction because these explosive shanks can destroy your turret, which is not good. So be aware to throw your turret close to the stairs or out of the platform where the explosive shanks are standing. Now I was just double checking and everything seems to be good, so I decided to go back to the ghosts. So around 40%, this is when ads will spawn, and I'm just double checking and then backing away because I thought there will be an Overload champion, but not in 40%. So I throw my turret and decide to push a bit towards the stairs, but then I saw these wretches, these ads, fallen ads trying to push towards me. So always be aware of these ads where they can melee you, which would not be fun. And now I'm just double checking again because there are a bit fallens from the right side, which they throw nades, by the way, which is not fun. Double checking and then resuming. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of heavy in this video, so double linear actually stacks. Now I'll be dealing with 2 barrier champions, and I would just wait a bit because some of the explosive shanks will push towards the platform where your ghost is defending, so you could just wait a bit. And then later you can just deal with the barrier champion. Or if you are impatient and you can just deal with the barrier champion now. So I wanted to get rid of these electric shanks and then deal with the Overload champion. It doesn't really matter which one you destroy. They will still make 4 Overload champions spawn, so it doesn't really matter at all when dealing with these barrier champions. Now these barrier champions do immune the other ads, but they are completely harmless, so you can actually switch to your linear and then just do critical headshots, which I wasn't doing a good job in this video, unfortunately. And like I said, my TV is not 50 inch, 80 inch, so it can be hard for me to see. Alright, so you can use the linear fusion to do massive damage. Even though we're not using particle deconstruction, you can still do enough DPS, especially when you have Opal weapon with major spec. And now to deal with 4 overload champions. And like I said before, do not trust the champions in this room. So never trust them because, like I said, they teleport, they're buggy. Honestly, I wouldn't go towards the stairs at all. Unless it is one overload champion, then yes, but if it's 4, then no. And like I said, I think using Monarque is the best compared to use Taiku. Taiku for some reason is a bit bugged when trying to overload 4 champions, and then using Trinity Gold makes it even 100 times worse because that can't even stagger overload champions at all unless you're using bow reloader, but I wouldn't risk it, to be honest, at all. So now I'm just trying to stagger the champions as much as I can. Since we're using Monarque, we're poisoning the overload champions where they could just stand still and not teleport. So 1 is down, 3 more to go, and like I said, I don't trust these champions, so I definitely just back away and then just use the bow. You can also use your rocket or your linear fusion if you are impatient, but like I said, you could take as much time as you want, doesn't really matter. So now the overload champion, this is the second one. I lost counted already, to be honest. So now we defeated that overload champion, and then I think this is the third one. I'm not really sure anymore. I totally forgot. But yeah, overload champions are annoying. And the one thing I'm curious is, does the Monarque, does it make the Scorn overload champion stand and not make it move around? That I don't know, and I will have to find out later. I didn't have time for Hollow Layer to test it out. But yeah, and of course I threw my turret wrong way again, which was not good because the Shanks can destroy my turret, so there goes my turret. And now I can deal with the anti-barrier champion. Isn't this fun? These wretches are pushing towards me, so I back away, and then I can resume to do DPS. I also saw on LightGG that Monarque will be having a catalyst, so I am looking forward to the catalyst for Monarque. I'm not sure when it'll be available, probably next season. That's what I'm assuming, because I was looking it up and I'm like, wow, there's gonna be a catalyst for that, and then also for the other exotics. Or I could be wrong, maybe it's a fan made and I probably got tricked. So anyway, hope they make the catalyst for Monarque. That way I can make orbs and then I can actually, you know, spam the firepower. So I'm staggering the overload barrier champion, and I am doing bad DPS because I cannot see from this distance so much. So I'm trying to do critical headshots, and then finally we can defeat the barrier servitor. So finally we defeated the Shanks. You can collect as much ammo as you can and proceed to the next level. So finally we defeated the Shanks, and now we can go and defend the ghosts, and hopefully we can get 100%. I was trying to, but then another Overload champion appeared. Oh boy, how many Overload champions are in this room? It is ridiculous. Well, the good news is we did get platinum in this video, so just to let everyone know, if you don't care about 100k but care about platinum, then and a completion, then this video will be fun for you. Now sometimes the Overload champion can push towards you and then teleport back, so I was just trying to be a bit careful, but then I noticed the Overload champion wasn't pushing, so I was a bit happy. Because like I said, sometimes Overload champion's buggy and it just teleports in front of you, 2 shots, teleports back, and it can be very annoying. So now I'm just throwing my nade because I'm not sure where the Overload champion is. And I think I heard a couple of vandals, which I was right. So always be aware of your surroundings and be careful because these vandals can melt you. And then we have the Overload champion from the left side, which we want to take down. I saw the Overload champion in a good spot, so I decided to use Monarque just to DPS as much as I can. And of course I was getting the console aim assist when I was trying to aim at the Overload champion, which happens quite a lot. And I decided to use my healing rift because the vandal was shooting arc at me, which was not good for my Warlock. So once I defeat the champion, I was just scouting, even though I should be running, but I'm walking for some reason. And decided to go back to the ghost defend. So now we're going to be at 70%. Hopefully no ads will spawn. And of course they spawn at 70%. I didn't see any Overload champions, so I just went with the flow and just cleared down the explosive shanks as much as I can. And of course I didn't throw my turret because it explodes near these overcharged shanks. And now we have this solar shank. Now another option is you can use a solar linear, but I just didn't really feel like using it. I do have a good roll with high impact reserves, by the way. I wanted to use the Vulpal weapon Void Linear, but you can use a Monarque to break the shield, as you can see here. And then we can take down the shank. Now there's going to be 2 more solar shanks at the next phase, but now I'm just double checking because I saw a vandal shooting arc at me, which I don't like. So I was just looking or scouting, and then finally we can take down the vandal, which loves to play hide and seek. And I decided to claim the defend ghost platform, or we can capture the plate, etc. So around 90%, it's going to be the last waves of ads, or 88%. And it's going to be the last Overload champion. So I was just looking because I saw the Overload champion pushing towards me, then it pulled back. And my turret didn't want to do anything. Unfortunately, I threw it at the wrong spot. So what I should have done here is just throw the turret with a shank. Well, the solar shank, not the electric ones. But it's okay, you know, I'm not perfect. So I decided to just spam the Monarque. Take my sweet time since there's really no time limit in this Grandmaster. I wanted to use my healing riff and I was just thinking in this video of which solar shank to destroy first, and I was waiting for my turret as well, and I decided to take down the right side first. And I saw the overload and wanted to stop shooting fire at me, well, at the wall. And you could just spam the solar shank shield with the Monarque and the turret will help you a bit. And then you can switch to your global weapon and then take down the shank. So I popped another healing rift, decided to throw a turret again, just to deal with the last solar shank. So yeah, this is really fun. I'm having the best day of my life, just shooting a solar shield. Yeah, just wait till the boss fight, that's gonna be really fun. So you can actually break the shield and then use the linear fusion to do DPS. Of course I backed away because I did not want to get greedy. Like I said, never trust overload champions in this room. If the overload champion is starting to shoot you, then just back away. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because it can shoot fire, arc, and it's not going to be fun. Well, for this particular, it seems to shoot only solar, so it can melt you, and I don't trust any of these overload captains in this Nightfall. Especially, like I said, in this room where we had to capture the plate, I don't trust them. And I don't push towards them at all. Maybe if I'm using Lament, but still I don't trust them. So I'm just using the overload bow with the Monarque. Hopefully we can take this overload down and actually proceed to the next level, because we've been here for like, I would say around 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. I lost counted. So you can see how annoying this plate room can be. Very time consuming, and if you do want to make this run faster, then you just stay longer at the plate, which I don't really recommend. It's not fun. So I decided to capture the plate and finally we can hit 100% and actually go to the next level. Alright, so this is the one I really don't like. So you need to capture the arc pulses, and there are vehicle, vandals, ads where they can one-shot you, well, the vehicles mainly. And this could be a problem because one, why they made this Grandmaster mode on this area when it's 0 points. And of course, because, you know, people were farming lost sectors. Yes, I know that, but why can't they not make these ads at GM mode? So now I was just trying to be careful of these pike dregs, which they can melt you, even with double arc resistance. So what you could do is just be cautious and collect all the arc pulses like I'm doing. Or you can just wait until Blueberries save your life and collect the arc pulses for you. unexpectedly, I had blueberries. Yes, we call them blueberries. If you're new, we call them blueberries for players because when you look at the radar, it's blue and it looks like a berry. So I saw blueberries that spawn to this area and they collect the last 2 arc pulses for me, so yeah, you could wait, by the way, if you want to. If you're too lazy or too scared, then you can just wait for blueberries to save the day. There we go, we got awesomeness dash underscore 40 saving the day. Thank you, awesomeness. And then we got Ghostface. They're saving my day. Thank you, blueberries, for collecting my arc pulses. Isn't that nice of them? Okay, I'll be really honest with you. They're doing the Nightfall the same as me. They're probably like, yay, only 2. But then again, I think they're on a strike, not thinking about it. Because the pikes didn't one-shot them when they were under Sparrow. Or maybe they're doing Master Nightfall, but... You know, thank you, Ghostface. You're welcome, Blitz. Okay, there we go. He disappears like a ghost. So I decided to Sparrow and I got stuck. So if you get stuck, just get off your Sparrow and run for your life. There are snipers here. And there are 2 ways to go for this method, but I decided to go over here because it just seems the safest for me. Like I said, everyone has their playstyle. And here seems the safest, and I'll tell you why very, very soon. So there's gonna be Vex goblins, which they are completely harmless. You can just clear them down with Monarque. There's around 3 of them. Sometimes 4. It's RNG where they spawn. And once you take them down, then you can deal with the spider or the walker from this angle. Well, not where I'm standing right now, but right around here. So there are snipers over here. Well, 1 sniper, which could melt you pretty bad, so you can actually go around them and then you can make your life easier by just going on top of this cliff. And you can take them down very quickly. So yeah, probably easy method to be honest. And I was just double checking because sometimes there's goblin 2 more or 1 more appearing out of nowhere. So you can actually use Monarque from this angle where the spider tank can't really hurt you. Well, it could if you're being cocky, but yeah, this is probably the safest method in my opinion. Another reason why I don't like to go to that other platform is because if you don't destroy the walker in time, the solar shrink will sneak up on you from the left side. So just be aware. You can use the bow from far distance and then you can just back away if you're shooting this arc attack and then just keep bowing away. And bow away and bow away. Yep, this is fun. Alright, so I'm gonna do a time skip for this because we all know how this is gonna go. Alright, so I defeated the walker and I'm just gonna go back to get some heavy. So now we're gonna deal with the last Overload champion. Yes, the final Overload champion and the most quite annoying Overload champion. Once you, like I said, once you defeat the walker, you can just casually just go to the last area, the pre-boss room I like to call it, to be honest. Or the dark maze room. Not really a maze, but if you're new to Exodus Crash, then you might get lost. So I decided to throw a turret and there's gonna be an Overload champion, and that is why I am not walking towards them and not pushing, because there is an Overload champion and like I said, I don't trust them, so I try to be as distant as I can because I don't trust them. I despise them. And they are extremely dangerous. And if we weren't using the bow, then this could be a problem. Let's just say we're using Scout Rifle. We have to use Explosive Scout Rifle. We have to use the blue Solar Scout Rifle to deal with this Overload Champion, because Explosive Payload works with Overload Champions. So just to let everyone know, if someone's asking, well, what if we use a Scout if it was available? Well, Explosive would be highly recommend. And you can see that I let the Overload Champion regenerate its health because I couldn't shoot it. It was hiding, well, for some reason Monarque was pushing this Overload Champion behind that wall. Was trying to DPS and I was trying to save my heavy at the same time. I didn't want to use my heavy because I want to use it for the boss. So I decided to throw out my turret again just to double check. I want the turret to double check the ads because they're invisible, they're annoying. You never know, right? I saw a drag. And now we can actually proceed to the pre-boss room. So there are snipers. You can just hide and kill the snipers. Or you could just use your super and just float away to the boss room. Which, you guys know me, I'm just gonna probably use the most easiest method. Since sometimes I just don't have the patience. So I decided to use my super, just float away, deal with the ads. So yeah, this is basically what I did. I just used my super. Of course, one of the Fallens tried to push me, nice try. And we can actually proceed to the boss room. So you can just freeze them and then just go to the boss room. So I decided to just see if I can take them down because I don't want them to snipe me if I'm trying to do the mini cheese spot. And of course my turret bounce. Alright, so now we defeated the Vandals, some of the snipers pull back, which is what we want. And now we're going to be doing the mini cheese spot. Isn't this fantastic? So now we're going to be dealing with the overcharged shanks. Do not destroy all of them. Make sure you are on the boss room. Well, make sure you land on the boss room before going to the cheese spot. Alright, so I'm going to be doing the mini cheese spot. As you guys know, they nerfed the one where you were supposed to be on the top platform from the... I would say I will show you where they was nerfed. Of course, I kind of messed up and then I had to try to go up here. You go up here and then you go on top of this platform. For Hunter, I would say you have to use Stompies, but you can go up in this ledge, which I messed up. You can see even sometimes I'm not used to cheese spots because I never really do cheese spots in my videos, but for GM, anything for a completion, I'm down for. So you go on top of this platform and you go on the other one. This was the cheese spot, but they nerfed it. So now you have to go to this platform here. When going across to this edge or to the opposite side, crouch and hug the wall because you can fall down from the mini cheese spot. Just to let everyone know, I did this on purpose just to show that you could need to hug the wall. And then you can go from the opposite direction from left and right. I will be doing time skips since I'll be throwing over 10 turrets on my life, maybe 15, which is why it took a long time. My best advice is standing on this platform of where I am. You can throw a turret and the boss will shoot you. Now, I always like to use as much heavy as I can and take him down as much as I possibly can. Because this boss can destroy you from this mini platform. So I did crouch down. And I decided to use Monarque. And then try to make this boss disappear. because this boss can be the one that can destroy you. Now ads can't shoot you from this angle, but the champion, the barrier champion, and the boss can. So that's why I always try to make this boss disappear so I can deal with the other ads. And yeah, you can just spam Monarque. So like I said, if you crouch and stand on this specific area, the boss can't really touch you. And like I said, you can go for Noble Bomb, by the way. Or if you want to get 100 disciplined and, you know, spam your turrets as much as you can, then go for Eye Another World. Now this is the big problem of using Stasis Warlock. There's gonna be a lot of ads under where your cheese spot is. And you only can move left and right, and they do hide under where their platform is. You have to bait these vandals, these ads. You have to clear all these ads for the next phase to spawn. So like I said, I will do a time skip very soon, but I do want to show the demonstration of what you need to do when using the Warlock stasis. So you can make the turret do all your dirty work, and basically you can just spam your turret and destroy it over and over. So you can see here that I'm trying to bait it and I'm waiting for my turret. So yeah, it can be a bit slow, but that is the reason why I did not get the 100k, because I had to spend like over 10 turrets of my life. I'm gonna do a mini time skip. This is basically me throwing 10 turrets and just letting my minion do all the dirty work. Even though it's 50 damage, I'm still gonna get it done. Alright, so after spending 10 minutes of my life throwing like 15 turrets, finally I defeated the last mini ad because I couldn't see it. I did move left and right, by the way, and I still couldn't see the last fallen ad. So I had to like spam my turret, and you can also throw your turret around that angle too. That is also another method where you can try to push the boss. So this is the second phase where the boss will spawn and there's gonna be champions. Now you can first defeat the barrier champion and then do DPS of the boss. It all depends of you. For me, I decided to just melt the boss as much as I can and make it disappear. I want to make this boss disappear because he is basically the main threat throughout this entire Nightfall, where it can destroy you from this spot if you are not careful. Another thing I like to mention is the boss will, well, the champions will immune the boss, and then sometimes it doesn't. So like I said, you can first take down the barrier champion and then deal with the DPS with the boss. It's everyone's choice. I just wanted the boss to disappear and not bother me. So yeah, this is basically what you have to do. You have to stagger the Overload champion, well, barrier champion, and you can see the boss did hit me a bit. So you have to be super careful, and this is why I just definitely want this boss to be get rid of. I want the boss to disappear and not appear for a while, you know? So when you do freeze the barrier champion, then you can do as much DPS as you can. I was trying to, and then finally the boss disappears. So the boss disappear and now he appear again, so make sure you do as much DPS. It keeps shielding the boss, which was annoying. So you can do as much DPS until it goes to 1 bar of the health and it should disappear. So once the boss is on 1 bar, well, now finally disappear. So you can actually take your time dealing with the Overload champions. Now, I decided to use False Promises since the range and stability was pretty decent from this angle or from this distance. So you can actually take your time and then deal with the barrier champions from this mini platform. So you can see here, you can break the champion. Of course, my turret is being a bit selfish. It wants to destroy the barrier champion on its own, but it can't. And you guys know that you can't get heavy back. There's no forgiveness for Bungie for that, since we have unlimited ammo. Alright, so I'm gonna do a mini time skip for this since this is gonna take a while. Alright, so after spending some 3 minutes of my life over here, now I can actually throw my turn and deal with a couple of ads. So there are vandals and overload, well, overcharged shanks. So you can actually stand here and take as much ads as you can. So I decided to just take down the overload shanks. You don't really have to, but they were kind of like hurting my eyes a bit for some odd reason. So now I decided to throw out my turret because I know there are a couple of ads that I'm missing on top. So you can see there are a lot of vandals which we want to take down. So you could just stand here and also move a little bit to the edge, which I did not do in this video, and then you can take them down. So a couple of ads do like to appear around that angle. And then you can throw your turret to bait them to move. And sometimes that doesn't work. Let's see if it works. And of course my turret says there's nothing, which is completely false. And yes, something like this could happen to you, so I had to like pop a healing rift and then shoot around, because I swear there should be another ad that should appear. So I decided to throw a turret here since that angle wasn't working, and it baited the vandal, as you see here. So yeah, we're basically playing hide and seek. So finally I cleared down all the ads, and now we're gonna deal with the next phase. So this phase can be a bit annoying because this is when the boss just does not want to cooperate. And what you can do here is take down the overload, well, overcharged shanks. I don't know why I call them overload, to be honest. Now the one thing I will say is later I did figure out how to bait the overload champion to move, is you actually have to jump a bit. Yes, I'm not even joking. You can actually jump a bit, just a little jump where the boss can see you, and then it'll start to shoot solar and then move around a bit. So that's what I found out, but it was late, like later on, right? Because I was just experimenting, right? And then I figure out that you can make this boss move if you jump and make the boss see you. So I'm gonna do a mini time skip for that. Alright, so after waiting for my turret so I can actually, you know, make this boss move, I decided to throw my turret so it can, I guess, scare it away. So now the boss is going to move around. You can see how annoying this boss is. He's gonna go down to the platform where you can't see him. Look, he's gonna do it. You can't get me, Blitz. I'm gonna be over here. Then guess what I did? Seriously, I jumped. And he's like, oh, I see you, Blitz. I jump and shoot, try to bait this very annoying boss. It does actually, this boss can actually move from the other side as well, but I just wanted to jump and just make this boss move. I'm gonna try again. I decided to think an idea of throwing a turret on that angle and then make this boss see me and move. So I throw a turret and it seems to be moving, and then I jumped. I said, come on, see me. And of course I saw the boss, and finally it saw me. So that's a method I was trying to figure out. It seems like if you throw the turret from the opposite direction, then this boss is gonna move and it sees you, and you can make the boss move from the other side. And like I said, I wish I could have done this earlier, but like I said, I was experimenting, and I didn't realize that if the boss sees you, it moves when you are on this platform. Because usually if you're a Nova Bomb, then you can just Nova Bomb the boss. But you can't for Warlock stasis. Alright, so the boss is gonna move. It's gonna move from the left side. It's gonna go loopy doopy doo. Okay, oh, my mistake. It's thinking about it. It's gonna go all the way from the left. Oh, it teleported. It's gonna teleport from the right. By the way, it's RNG where it teleports. And now it is under the platform. And guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do the same method. So I'm gonna throw the turret from the left side, the opposite direction, and make this boss see me, because for some reason it can see me. It starts to move when it sees me, and look, it does see me a bit, but then it's shooting solar. I was trying to see, can I throw it from this angle, and can I destroy, well, make this boss move a bit so it can actually run. It seemed to work a bit, and of course there was a fallen next to him. And he almost fell down. Can you believe that? This boss almost fell down. I could have had a completion already. Isn't that just fantastic? It almost fell down. I was like, not today, Blitz. And then it just jumps backwards. Like, how did he do that? How did this boss do that? What is this boss? Tracer from Overwatch? Does it go back in time if it does a mistake? Like, seriously, that was just super awkward. And guess what I'm gonna do next? I'm gonna throw a turret and make this boss move. And it's gonna go, okay, you found me, Blitz. Now I'm gonna hide somewhere else. Woo! And then watch it move from the left side. Well, watch it move from the right side. I'm betting my money. I'm betting all my glimmer. It's going to move from the left side. I'm betting all my glimmer. Will it move? No, it moved from the right side. Ah, I lost all my glimmer. Seriously, is this fun? Now, I was gonna go down to the purple crate, but then I realized that I wanted to make an easy video instead of being impatient. So I decided to just stay here and just go with the flow. So yeah, I guess what we're gonna do, we're gonna throw a turret, right? If only I had Nova Bomb with me. And I'm going to beat the boss. I'm gonna make it move. So we're gonna do it again. I'm gonna jump. See, hopefully he'll see me. Like, please, boss, move for the viewers. They want to see you. Move. Just move. Please move. I was trying my best for this boss to move and see me. And finally it moved and saw me a bit. And now I decided to use my super and just say, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. I can't take it anymore. Too much Bungie patience. So, decided to use my super. And there you go, guys. We have defeated the boss, and Bungie made me stop. Yay, I complete my rank, even though I totally forgot. So, there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And like I said, just bait the boss and jump, but be careful when you jump. Like a light jump. I'm not talking about like a heavy jump where you can fall down. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy it. Bye.